Here's Johnny!
What's going on, everybody? Sloth here. Hope you're having an awesome day, and welcome to my guide of the caveman Sledge. Jumping right into it, Sledge is a 2-armor, 2-speed attacking operator hailing from the British Special Forces, the SAS. Now, in this guide, I'm going to be going over Sledge's optimum loadout. I'm also going to be taking a look at Sledge's gadget and how to use it effectively, and also what a typical round is going to look like when you're using Sledge. Now, Sledge is a pretty strange operator in the game, considering that his gadget is one of the, well, probably the most basic gadget in the game. It's literally just a hammer, compared to some of the other operators when you look at some of the gadgets they're running around with. But considering his gadget is really basic, it is actually one of the most useful in the game sometimes, and allows Sledge to be one of the most effective roaming lone wolf types of characters in the game, and also a very newbie friendly character in the game. So if you are looking at just jumping into Rainbow Six Siege and you don't know which operator to buy first, Sledge might be the one for you, and I'm going to talk about why. First things first, Sledge comes equipped with a great starting loadout. He has the AL-85 in the primary weapon slot. Now, the AL-85 deals 47 damage, has a fire rate of 670 and a capacity of 30 rounds in the magazine. Now, the AL-85 is a tidy little weapon that's really easy to get on with, considering that it has a low to moderate recoil. So just when you're picking the gun up, it's very easy to start to manage that recoil and start to get a handle on it, and therefore allowing you to pick up some clean headshots. Now, just keeping it real, I'm really not a fan of his other primary weapon, the M59OA1, because I'm not really a shotgun player, especially on attacking operators. I don't find that they're that useful, but that's all I got to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Now, taking a look at Sledge's secondary weapons, this is where things get serious. Serious. Luckily, Sledge has the privilege of being able to use the SMG-11, which is, in my opinion, one of the best secondary weapons in the game. Believe it or not, this SMG used to be even better than what it is now. It used to absolutely run this game when it first came out. I don't know if you guys used to play the game way back when, but this thing, when you used to be able to equip an ACOG scope on it, used to absolutely destroy people and was absolutely insane. But it still is a great gun now, as it does 32 damage, has an absolutely insane fire rate of 1270, and has a small capacity of 16 in the mag, but you're primarily going to be aiming for headshots when using it, so I would not worry about that low capacity. And really, when using this SMG, you should never really feel like you are at a disadvantage, and should never be reluctant to pull it out if you ever need to, as it is still an absolute savage. Now, Sledge in his secondary gadget slot has an extremely difficult decision between the frag grenade and the stun grenade. Don't be a nonce, go for the frag grenade every time. It's going to come in handy in way more situations than the stun grenade, and frag grenades on this game are genuinely very powerful, so always, whenever you have the option, I would always advise to pick a frag grenade if the operator is lucky enough to have it as an option. Jumping into Sledge's gadget, the breaching hammer. Now, I know this gadget does seem basic, but trust me, it is actually very useful in the game. To use Sledge's breaching hammer, all you need to do is press down the gadget button, which is on my controller, RB. By doing this, Sledge will swing the hammer. If you make contact with a destructible wall, it will destroy it and break a hole within it that is usually big enough to crawl through if you do crouch. If you do want to be able to run through one standing up, you merely just need to hit above it, and then you should be able to run through it. Sledge's hammer works quicker than a normal breaching charge, so if you compare the speed between a breaching charge going off and then Sledge actually swinging his hammer and destroying an object, you will find that Sledge's is a lot quicker and it's a lot quieter than, for allowing you to kind of, you're still going to make a lot of noise when you are breaking through doors, but it is slightly less than the breaching charge, so that if someone is on maybe the opposite side of the room or the corridor, they're less likely to hear it going off when using Sledge, therefore allowing you to kind of flank slightly. Now, one of the more advanced tactics when using Sledge that I don't see a lot of people doing, Sledge can also partially destructible surfaces. So, for instance, if you hit the hammer on a surface that when you go to place a breach charge on it, it lights up orange, that basically means that surface is partially destructible. So if you use Sledge's hammer on that structure, you're going to partially destruct it, and you're going to be able to see through it, therefore giving you line of sight to certain areas that you otherwise would not have had. The main use for this is commonly if the objective room is on one of the bottom floors and there is a floor above it, it's always a good idea to try and go above that objective room and see if any of the floor is destructible. If it is, that means you can partially destruct it, and you're going to be able to get a line of sight on a lot of enemies that are anchoring within the objective room. That is one of the best uses for Sledge in my opinion. Because of his gadget allows him easy access to kind of break through these walls. He's incredible for creating lines of sight on enemies and basically allowing your team multiple lines of sight, and the more lines of sight you have in Rainbow Six Siege, the more chance you are going to be picking up kills. One thing to note though, that Sledge doesn't have unlimited swings of the hammer. Every time you swing the hammer and make impact with the surface, it's going to take basically one of your swings off. Now I'm not sure how many in total you have as Sledge. I have never actually ran out of swings using his hammer. I think it's pretty difficult to do if you're playing kind of conservatively with it and only using it when you need to, so you shouldn't really run into it as a problem. So just make sure you are being conservative with your swings though, so that never happens to you. Because of Sledge's breaching hammer, I do believe he's one of the best aggressive attacking operators on the game, because he's able to break through loads of different surfaces. He's able to get to the objective quickly and get line of sight on it quickly and kind of catch enemies off guard. He's also really good at obviously going above the objective and creative line of sight on the defenders where they least expect it, which is usually from above. A typical round for Sledge, I would try and make sure that you're using your camera at the start, looking for what defenders the enemies have. If you're able to find any that have C4, you're going to want to take note of that and try and find out and follow where they're going. I'm going to put a picture on screen of the defending operators that are in the Nitrocell club and have access to it. The reason that you're going to want to watch these enemies and see where they're going, because if some of them stay in the room and you go above that objective room and try and create some line of sight on it, if them enemies do have Nitrocell and they are competent players, they're going to try and throw that Nitrocell up at the ceiling and kill you. So it's a good idea to try and keep track of where they are. Even if there is enemies anchoring in the objective room that have Nitrocell, don't let that put you off going and getting line of sight above on that room. So that's what I would recommend doing. Going above the objective, creating line of sight on it, seeing if you can kill any enemies there. If you can't, leave that spot, join up with the rest of your team, or go on a flank, try and create as many different line of sights on the objective as possible, and never be afraid to use your hammer in an aggressive way or to help out your teammates. If you know you're with a Twitch who might not have breaching charges on and you can see she's struggling to get past the wall, make sure you help her out. But that's pretty much it for how I think you should play Sledge. He's a great attacking operator and he comes with a great loadout, and he should really be played in an aggressive way, making sure you're using the verticality to your advantage. But that's it from me, guys. Hope you're enjoying these guides. If you did like the video, please let me know in the comments below, and without further ado, have a great day.